what do you want to talk about? Sorry, I had to. I know it's been a while. For a lot of reasons, especially recently, but I won't get into that right now. Um, I do want to say that this video is more of a like, what the hell happened? What's going on? What did I miss? Type thing. Okay, we're just going to catch up. If you want to catch up with me, please hang out. Um, be a part of the conversation if you want to. If not, you can kind of jump through the video. Um, and then I'll kind of explain, I guess, like where I've been, what's kind of going on right now towards the end, if anybody cares. I like to throw that disclaimer out there. But this is mainly WWE, also, in case y'all didn't know that this is kind of what this is all turned into. But yeah, so let's start with that SmackDown from London. What, over a week ago, because that does kind of set up a lot of where we are now going into Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. So I want to kind of, I'm not going to do like, match by match kind of recap, because a part of me feels like it's not needed. And then to me, it feels like it's a little too late for that. So I'm not going to bore y'all with, that. But I do want to cover a lot of the things that may have happened then that are still kind of unfolding now, the closer we get to Mania. Okay, so hope that made sense. Hope y'all hang out with me and just try to follow along as I try to catch up on what the hell has been happening, because it's been a lot, especially when it comes to my face, but we will get there. We will get there. Um, so SmackDown live from London, from the O2, which was crazy. Um, okay, so Cody opened the show. We had a back and forth. So we had him, Randy, Drew at one point. The Street Profits went up against Pretty Deadly to defend their tag titles. Street Profits won. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on that. We had LA Knight versus Braun Strowman, where there was a DQ because Jacob and Tama interfered. That is, of course, extremely important because of what comes after that for the next SmackDown, right? So, like I said, we're setting things up, right? Um, Jimmy had a backstage segment with Jackie Redmond, and then was later confronted by Miz and Carmelo. And I think they were talking about the slap that happened with Gunther uh, on Monday. Was that Monday that it happened? Yeah, because him and Jay. Okay, yeah. Look, I'm like I said, it's a lot. Um, and it just big talking and just talking in circles, not really doing anything. That leads to a match being set up between Jimmy and The Miz. Now, while that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with what's currently happening, as far as Miz and Carmelo, I guess they're trying to throw the two of them into the tag picture now. Not 100% sure, but I guess we'll see. Um, and we got that incredible Naomi video package with her new persona, with the new character, with her and all the caution inspired gear. It's like she is an actress, like legit. And I'm so excited for this part of her journey. I don't want to say too much from her there because she didn't make an appearance that night. She just had that video package to kind of, put it out there and put the message out there. Caution, right? Be very, very aware of what's happening right now, right? Um, what else? I don't even remember. Okay, so Randy ended up having a match with Drew because, of course, Drew interrupted while Randy was talking to Cody. And then KO came out to distract Randy, and that gave Drew the win. There's so much with Drew. Okay, there's a whole lot with Drew and the Damien thing. Um, I'm Team Damien all the way for that. And yeah, we'll come back to that. We'll, we will come back. We did get a Michin versus Charlotte Flair match that came from BFAB and Charlotte Flair having a match the show before that. So that was, from what I remember, it was a pretty good match. Uh, and then here comes Naomi because they were talking smack about her after the whole Jade thing. And then we end up with a Naomi versus BFAB match scheduled for the next SmackDown. Okay. I'm looking at notes, so forgive me if I keep looking off to the side. Uh, Damien confronts Drew outside, and that is why Drew currently has an eye patch. But that's what happens when you talk too much and you blame everybody else for your shortcomings. But like I said, we'll come back to that. Now, I don't even want to say the highlight of that show, but I feel like one of the most anticipated promos situations of the night was the contract signing between Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. Okay. And it was also announced that that will be the main event match for night one, which of course Cena and Cody will probably be, well, they will be the main event match for night two. There are, well, to me, I have two issues because we should have that women's match as a main event, for one of the nights. I love Roman so much, and I do understand why Cody and Cena have to be the main event. Okay, I get it. Do I like it? No, but I understand Cody is the one who has the title. Cena is Cena to everybody else. I don't see him the same as a lot of people, but it is what it is, and I get it, right? Oh, this lighting is so bad. One moment. Better? Okay. This is a little better. This is slightly better. But Jay, now, I'm not going to sit here and try to make an argument for why Jay should be the main event. I know in my head why he should be the main event. And it is a heavyweight title match, right? But that is not enough apparently. And with everybody complaining about Jay being put in that match in the first place, is probably a big reason why he is not main eventing. So it's like, if y'all not going to main event his match, then you're going to have to put him in a spot where he's going to be able to pump the crowd up. I don't want him to start off the night, but that maybe your best bet is to open up with him. I mean, for either night, honestly, because, I mean, that's pretty much what they have been using him before, is to get the crowd hype. A lot of people look forward to that moment in the show, is being able to yeet with Jay, and there's no telling who he's going to come out with this time around, because he always comes out with somebody. So we will see what happens, but I guess it only makes sense now to just put him where he can get the energy up. He can get the crowd excited, the crowd pumped for whatever's to come. I don't really have too much more to say about that right now, because we have more to get to after that. So now, fast forward to this past Monday Night Raw, which was the last show from overseas. I think they were still in London. The Cody and Cena thing, I'm just ready for them to fight at this point. I don't need any more talking. It's not doing anything for me. It hasn't from day one. I'm sorry, I don't care. So let's just let things happen in the ring, because what else are we supposed? Why? Just why, right? Now, Jimmy versus Gunther. So leading up to this, we had seen Jimmy, he was throwing his verbal shots at Gunther over Jay and just, I'm going to show you, that you can be beaten, you will be beaten. It was great though. It was great promos from Jimmy, him and Jay reuniting and Jimmy coming to the defense of his brother. I love everything about that, right? Was still hesitant and not excited for this match. Now, this happened in the middle of the day and I was not able to watch it live. I had to catch it at the end of the day around its normal time, right? And I had to watch it, right? Now, because I was so nervous and anxious about Jimmy's match, I kept checking Instagram just to kind of see what was happening to prepare myself. Obviously, there was nothing that could fully prepare me for what actually went down between him and Gunther. And I'm I think I was irritated more than anything because okay, here's what I wrote because I made notes from all of this, right? They used Jay to show Gunther was still dominant after that random ass storyline with his beef with Damien because they were trying to make Gunther look like he was doubting himself. He wasn't sure. He was, he didn't think he could beat certain people, da da da. But because that storyline completely backfired and people thought it was stupid, they decided, oh, well, we'll just throw Jay in there to make Gunther look like he's dominant again. None of that was necessary. None of it. And this is not even a dig at Gunther. Gunther does not need that. That's what confuses me so much. He doesn't need, he is dominant. He has always been dominant. Y'all trying to force a storyline of maybe the giant is getting weaker is dumb, and then having to try to do damage control by throwing in somebody who you're trying to oversell as an underdog to try to build him back up. I'm hearing noises. Sorry. That it has not been necessary. On top of the fact that this buildup of Gunther and Jay has not been that great, and it's not either of their faults. I do not blame Gunther or Jay for why this storyline and this whole beef has just been just like, what are y'all doing and why are we doing it, right? Now, there's one other point that I wanted to say about this Jay and Gunther thing is if Gunther is so dominant, he's supposed to be so dominant, why does he have to keep going out of his way to show Jay that he doesn't want to fight him, that he shouldn't have to fight him because this is what's going to happen to him? Why are you trying so hard to prove to Jay that he's not good enough or sell to the crowd that he's not good enough? If you believe he's not good enough, why are you going through all of this? Is it because it's supposed to be like he's trying to convince himself that Jay isn't good enough and he's just overdoing it? I don't even want to do that anymore because I feel like I sound crazy now. So, never mind. But okay, yes, I'm still upset that they always have to sacrifice Jimmy for the greater good. Okay, it happens. He gets sacrificed for everything, bruh. Every single thing for everybody's storyline. He gets sacrificed. He gets used as the example, right? And I don't know if this past incident with Gunther was them riding Jimmy off for a little bit to come back maybe for Mania in whatever capacity or not at all. I don't know, but it's just like, bro, it always feels like Jimmy just got back to us and y'all keep trying to take him away. I don't like that. And just the whole thing with Gunther and all the blood and the security trying to get Gunther, and one of the security just so happened to have zip ties on him that was easily available and in reach for Gunther to tie Jay to the ring to watch him completely destroy Jimmy. Um, so so we're doing all of this to get Crash Out Jay. I've I, along with several other fans, have been screaming for Crash Out Jay for the longest, right? And he obviously knows. He hears us, okay? He knows. And it's happening. He's posted it in his stories, in his stuff on Instagram and everywhere else, right? He knows, and it's coming, but they still had that to where the doubt was still seeping in. But I guess what better way to turn that switch on than to have somebody take out your brother, your twin brother, who you kind of just got back in a sense because y'all reconciled and all this other stuff, right? Even though there was still so much happening, still so many things that need to get solved. And then this happens. Now, there's one thing I haven't seen a lot of people mention. Um, is when all of this was happening and Jay was tied to the ring and he was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna beat your ass." Now, to those who know what that statement is supposed to mean, right? That should have been okay. He's been triggered. It's happening. It's happening. I've seen a lot of think pieces about his, just his expressions and how he really had that blank kind of look after a while as he was consoling his brother and he had the towel and there was blood everywhere and. And as much as I want to say and think that all of that was too over the top and it was unnecessary, again, that's what happens when your creative team takes too long to get a story rolling in time for your big event that you know is coming up extremely soon. So they finally decided to put their foot on the gas, and this is what we get. I don't even want to think about the reception for Jay um, after Mania is over, regardless of what happens. Because if this is how they're treating him now, after his Rumble win and him declaring Gunther as his opponent, and all of that did happen, I don't. And now everybody want to be like, no, we want Jimmy. Y'all had a lot to say about Jimmy too, but now all of a sudden, Jay is the problem, and y'all want Jimmy to achieve more. I'm standing on business, and I've been hollering and screaming for Jimmy and Jay to get more respect, to get their flowers, to be seen as all that they are. I'm not changing my mind on that. I don't care. I'm not changing my mind. So, it's like y'all can switch up, but I'm not about to. Oh damn, I still there's still so much that I haven't even talked about and we already at almost 20. Okay, so I'm going to break the rest of this down pretty quickly because like I said, this is going to have to do with some Mania stuff later. So, I'm only mentioning Logan this time. I don't want to have to talk about that man no more, and I don't need nobody in my comments trying to make it seem like I'm okay with how Logan is because he's a wrestler. Do not bring that here. But I'm mentioning him at this point because he still can't even be a heel correctly. Okay, he thinks the boos are because he's a good heel. That's not. His insults are cringy and they lack creativity. They have from day one and they've only gotten worse. Okay, and unfortunately, we have to deal with him at Mania. I mean, we don't have to. I plan on taking a break from my TV when his match is on, even though I absolutely love AJ Styles. So I'll have to figure that out. Now, we did get New Day versus Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates. I'm happy they finally gave New Day a chance, to compete and hopefully to be able to contend for the tag titles, because that is like that's why they're there. That's why we need them. We need New Day competing for tag titles. That's how I feel. And then we had Braun versus Penta versus, yeah, Braun and Penta versus Finn and Dom. Um, it was, it was okay. It wasn't. I'm a huge Penta fan. I was more excited about him than everybody else on that card. Um, that it basically led to, like, it's still Braun and Penta kind of looking at each other like, okay, we're going to have to compete with each other at some point, probably for the title. I'm waiting for that announcement to be made. And then lastly, Bianca, Io, and Rhea. I was really excited, but it's becoming more of a mess now, and not like a organized mess, just a mess. And I'm really excited for Bianca, but I really love Io, and I want her to keep getting her flowers. As far as this possible character change of them just turning Rhea into a just like whiny, that's mine. I'm the only one who deserves a chance at that. You know, everybody's screwing me over and cheating me. Ma'am, you were in the Judgment Day. Ma'am, you have not always played fair either. I'm not saying the other two have, because EO and Damage Control, and then beyond. I'm not saying anybody has played fair, but you are not the exception. I am excited to see the three of them in the ring, because I feel like that's what's going to eventually still happen. Like, I don't know, but I feel like that's still going to happen. If not, I think it'll still be a good match. I think they deserve a main event spot, but I guess Triple H said what he said, right? About the storylines needing to be interesting enough to get a main event spot. Okay. But I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to do another video of catching up, and especially with Raw happening tomorrow, we're going to catch up and we're going to talk about everything. Um, and I'm going to, yeah, I need to catch up with you guys from SmackDown that was in Chicago this past Friday, and then we will catch up and talk Raw from tomorrow. Um, but yeah, I was supposed to say, so I've been gone because I got a new job. I'm back in office, so I'm not home a lot of the day. I don't have time to just sit and like create things, which is okay. It actually felt kind of good to not just be like obsessively online all day, you know. That, and then just life things, and then just dealing with my sinuses really bad. I'm finally kind of recovering from just feeling really bad, and I finally kind of got my voice back. It's not 100%, but I'm there. So yeah, I'm going to be back. The videos won't be as long. I'll try to not run too long, but I'll be back, like I said, because there's still so much to talk about, and Mania is really, really close, and I'm excited to see what else to come and what's left to be announced as far as the Mania matches go. But if you've made it here this long, I appreciate you more than you know. I didn't mean to run over this long, and I still have a whole lot to say. Um, but for now, I'm going to leave it there, and I will holler at y'all really soon, since I am feeling better, so I will be able to start making some more content and things. So I'll talk to y'all later. Later.